the most important mission of state government is education. That's the best way that parents and society at large can help our children, the next generation, is giving them a good education. That's the key to equal opportunity in our society, in our country, in our world. We want to make sure that every child who's born today and who has been born in the past gets a first-class education. And we don't want any state out-educating Illinois. And this past year has been a historic year in our state, and we have some of the history makers with us here today who labored in the vineyard day after day, night after night, to pass a education reform bill that is the model for the United States. When we signed it a few months ago, Arnie Duncan and many others who are involved in education on a national basis saluted Illinois for its commitment to education reform. And part of that reform is what I'm signing today, a school report card, an opportunity for the public and especially parents to evaluate their school on a variety of different areas, very important areas that matter to parents. What is the dropout rate of the high school? If there is a dropout rate, we don't want to kid ourselves and sweep it under the rug. We have to deal with that subject. How many AP classes are offered? How many dual credit classes are offered by the high school? With respect to grammar schools, we want to make sure that we know exactly what those characteristics are of the school in terms of its demography, the number of students who get school lunches from that school that are subsidized by the federal government. Facts are important things. We cannot forget that if we're going to make strides forward in education in Illinois, it has to be based on a factual foundation.
As we were negotiating Senate Bill 7, there were so many areas on the table that needed to be addressed, but this was one that we thought really needed vetting out, that we would need much more time than the time we had allotted for Senate Bill 7. And we made the recommendation to suggest that the P20 Council would take this measure on. I'm so glad our chairman of that council, former Senator, always a Senator, right, Miguel Zavalle, accepted that charge. And I really want to thank Max McGee and Robin Stain and the Boston Consulting Group for working so hard on the report card modification. They took that initiative across the state, had over 60 stakeholder group meetings, focus groups, and what we ended up with, as you can see, well, you can't really see it, but there it is. We ended up reducing a 17-page document to a wonderful, user-friendly, bright, colorful 2-page document. And if the individual, the parent that's searching, want to go further, there's a pyramid system that allows the parent to go even further and gather much more information. So I'm really happy not only is it user-friendly, but it tracks student growth like a process that we've never had before in the state. And it was a collaborative effort. We can work together in Illinois. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that we have enough people that love our children, that love our education system. And I just learned that we moved from being ranked 40th state to 29th. Now that is humongous. That is humongous. And so I'm just so excited again to be a part of this. We had a timeline, we stuck with it. With Max and Robin, they had the legislation ready for veto session. We moved it through veto session. I'd like to thank the governor for signing this legislation today that will allow parents the opportunity to have better transparency. They need to know what the schools are doing, not just how well their children are performing academically in the school, but what's the overall environment of the school? What does the principal have to say? These are the things that are really important, and it will bring about a little competition, because the school down the street will know what the other school is doing. And so I think competition is good in the education system amongst different schools. So I'm just happy to be a part of it. I look forward to continuously growing in Illinois and moving our education system in the top 3. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kimberly.